2017 was a pretty great year for gaming. We got titles like Breath of the Wild, Horizon Zero Dawn, Super Mario Odyssey, and even Divinity Original Sin 2. And for you online fans, we got the release of PUBG.
What a fucking
Pretty much every month was filled with an absolute banger of a game. But hidden within this excellent year was Prey by Arkane Austin. But sadly, it wasn't a video where you get to pray to our Lord and Saviour, Keanu Reeves. A los mantos vas mules caldules. Instead, it was a reimagining of a popular 2006 title of the same name. The original Prey reviewed quite well with a Metacritic score of 83 out of 100 on the PC. Game Informer giving it a 9.5 out of 10. And unfortunately for the fans of that version of Prey, the sequel was cancelled. And instead, we got this reimagining that has nothing to do with the original except having the same name. An extremely odd choice, by the way, but hey, I actually never played the original at all, so I don't care at all. But Arkane was on an absolute hot streak, having just released Dishonored 1 and 2 as their previous games. Those two previous games both sold and reviewed really well. Sadly, Prey, the sales just weren't there, but the reviewing community reviewed it quite highly. However, the 2017 release was still lucky enough to win Best Narrative at the Video Game Awards. The Italian Video Game Awards, that is. Mamma mia, we love the horror games and being outside in a space, whoopee! I remember trying to play Prey at the time. I even made a Let's Play video back when Let's Plays were a thing, but unfortunately, the call of PUBG was too strong for me.
Blow it up! Yes!
But it was a game that I always wanted to revisit, especially because I only got one goddamn trophy in it. And over the last 6 years, I've considered playing it at least half a dozen times. It's like I'm edging myself every few months. Play Prey. Yeah, you're gonna love it. It's gonna be the best game you've ever played. Yeah, keep playing it. Nah, save that pleasure for later. So with all of that edging that I've done the last 6 years, will it make that final climax even more better? And speaking of edging, which I've mentioned 3 times now, my channel is edging closer to 4,000 subscribers, so please go and subscribe. Prey is a game that blends psychological horror and action all within an atmospheric sci-fi setting. Think Dead Space with a blend of Bioshock and Fallout 3. The story takes place in 2035, so not that far in the future, and as you can see by the footage, it's absolutely horrifying. And still probably better off than where we are actually heading as a society.
We bring the boom! That's what we do!
Now please be warned if you haven't played this game, huge spoilers ahead obviously. At its core, Prey is a game about survival, exploration, and the quest for identity. You play as Morgan Yu, a scientist aboard the massive Talos I space station. Now, I have no idea how I wasn't immediately hooked when I first played this game back in 2017, because the first 30 minutes of opening gameplay and cutscenes are absolutely some of the best in all of gaming history. We start the game off as if we are living a normal life, hired by our brother Alex Yu to be part of the research team. We have an amazing view of the city below from our living quarters, and we get taken to work in a goddamn helicopter. But just something in the back of my head, it just feels off. Something isn't quite right here. And our suspicions are quickly confirmed when everything starts to go awry and one of our scientists that are performing checks on us gets attacked by this weird leggy alien thing. We've just witnessed our colleagues die from this weird alien life form thing. And that seems like a bad thing, but it actually leads to us finding out that we've been living in this weird Truman Show-like setup this whole time. The room we live in, the elevator rides, the corridors, even this elaborate helicopter ride, all fake. This girl I've been flirting with every day. I loved her. I've been planning on making her my wife and having her have my babies. After the attack, we wake up in our apartment and quickly realize that the environment around us is a simulation and that we have been living aboard Talos I for the past 3 years. We are contacted by January, an operator AI that claims to have been created by Morgan. This AI informs Morgan that the aliens, also known as the Typhon, have broken out of containment and have taken control of the station, killing most of the crew. The AI then reveals that we've been playing with these neuromods, removing them and adding them pretty much every day. It's sort of like Keanu Reeves, our Lord and Savior in the Matrix. You know, he installs a new neuromod and he knows a new skill, like, I know Kung Fu. When he removes them, it causes memory loss, which isn't a good thing, to be honest. It's sort of not even really worth it. But it explains our huge gaps in memory and how we ended up in this Truman Show emulation without us knowing how we got there. And what's weird is I played at least an hour of this game when I played it back in 2017, and I don't remember any of this happening whatsoever. It's like I had one too many neuromods or something. I know Kung Fu. January also explains to us that we built him to help us destroy Talos I, taking the Typhon and all their research with it. However, Alex, our brother, contacts us and proposes an alternative way, constructing a device that would wipe out the Typhon while leaving the station and all its research intact. The fate of Talos I, and even maybe all of humanity, rests on our shoulders. And are we the good guy, or are we the villain? Are you the Hancock of this story, or are you the Will Smith? And Prey doesn't give you any easy answers. As a matter of fact, it makes things constantly more confusing as to what you should do the further you go into the story. It might seem that destroying Talos I is the right thing to do, but that would also lead to lots of deaths of your fellow crewmates. And we're probably friends with most of these people. We've definitely had sexual intercourse with at least 2 or 3 of them. As the game progresses, you'll uncover more secrets, including the dark motives behind your actions and the decisions that led to the alien outbreak. You'll read dozens of emails, hear heaps of audio logs, and it all helps piece together the story. But ultimately, that makes the final decision even harder. It's a very strange balance because in the back of your head, you know that you're probably gonna blow up the spaceship, but then you keep coming across crew members that need your help, and you end up helping most of them. Yes, I will risk my life to get this medicine for you. Enjoy it while you can, you stupid bitch. What did you say? Nothing. I'm totally not gonna blow this place up in about an hour, you stupid bitch. I saved a lot of survivors, but I also didn't really care too much when I let one die. But regardless of whether you achieve a good or bad ending, the truth behind Prey's world is that it's just a simulation built from an amalgamation of Morgan Yu's memories. Alex Yu and others designed the experiments to test if the Typhon could develop human-like empathy to combat the Typhon that have overrun Earth. The decisions you make throughout the game, as well as the upgrades you choose, play a very important role in shaping whether you experience a positive or negative conclusion. Now, I went for the good ending, and to sum that up in a nutshell, you'll get that by saving as many of the crew members as you can. And after the final sequence, it's revealed that us, the player, is a Typhon mimic that happens to have Morgan Yu's memories. Everything you experience was part of a larger simulation based on the memories taken from a previous Morgan Yu who had undergone neuromod experiments. And again, you also learn that Earth isn't at risk of a Typhon invasion. The aliens have already infiltrated and are implanting humanity into their mimics. However, there's still hope. Every survivor you save on Talos I leaves behind a personal message for Alex. As long as you have these messages and avoid upgrading with Typhon mods, Alex will be convinced to spare you. In the end, you'll face another choice: either kill everyone you've saved, or take Alex's hand and usher in a new era where mimics and humans coexist peacefully. It's extremely confusing, and I don't blame you for wanting to click off this video because you can't follow along. I definitely haven't fully wrapped my mind around the story, but I think to fully appreciate this game, you have to have multiple playthroughs. But even with only one playthrough under my extremely large belt, I still absolutely loved the story of this game. It's dark, complicated, and even though these people are just pixels, I had a constant struggle internally whether I should save them or not. Well, I didn't struggle too much, because I ended up blowing up the place in the end anyway, but you get what I'm saying. The setting itself is a character. Talos I is a luxurious, corporate-funded space station orbiting the moon, and its design is a blend of sleek, futuristic technology and retro 1960s aesthetics. And this creates a very claustrophobic atmosphere that complements the mystery and tension of the story. Whether it's the wide open spaces or the tight winding corridors, Prey constantly uses this setting to remind you of how alone and isolated you are. Each area of Talos I feels different from one another, but it also works in a way that all makes complete sense. This area here is a large fake park, designated area for the crew to relax, park benches, gardens, and even a greenhouse where food is grown. The lobby, the main hub of the game that branches off to each section of the station. Our office is located there, and so are dozens of branching paths. Extremely confusing to navigate in the beginning, but by the end of the game it feels like a second home. And my favourite area, the crew's quarters. It feels like you're entering a fancy hotel when you first arrive. Each of the crew's rooms are securely locked, and finding the code to each room is an extremely satisfying puzzle. And each time you unlock a new room, you're greeted with a tiny little reward. Deep storage. The name itself gives you an immense sense of horror. I was honestly pretty bummed when I heard I had to go there, but it ended up being the location of one of my favourite parts of the whole game. Mr. Gray's sex room, a personal favourite of mine. It has nothing to do with the game, but I thought I would let you all know. You often need to revisit many of the ship's locations. Each time you will discover new things you couldn't see before, as well as fight new enemies that have stumbled their way into that area. And that was one of the biggest rewards in Prey, was backtracking to a previously visited area. You would go back and use your new skills to hack the level 4 door, or move the very heavy item out of the way to see what was on the other side. Exploring outside of the ship could be just as satisfying though. Although it made me feel sick at times, flying upside down and whatnot. Look, it's a locked door. Let's go there. I don't feel so good. Now, sadly, a lot of these types of games can end up feeling a bit repetitive with their go here, fetch quest type missions. Go here to see if this crew member's still alive, go to this office to retrieve this captain's key, find medicine for that stupid bitch that's going to get blown up later. But Prey, to simply put it, does not suffer with this problem at all. I easily could have played another 20 hours of a single playthrough doing similar objectives, or saving the same people over and over, because Talos I is so much fun to explore. And littered throughout the story, obviously side missions, they're all optional, but again, you'll see this crew member and something's happening to them and you sort of want to help them. Although on your second playthrough, you probably end up killing them. A few of the missions even have multiple ways to complete them, like the mission where you come across a lot of survivors. They refuse to let you open a certain door because of how many enemies are on the other side. And you can simply hack your way through and then open the door and let them all die. Or if you want, you can go around looking for turrets to bolster their defenses. God, I was so tempted just to open that door and let all those aliens just storm their way in. But I did what was right, and I ended up helping kill them all. The aliens. I helped kill all the aliens, not the people. I'm not some sort of psycho. The objectives of most missions are fairly easy, just activate a switch to complete the majority of them, but standing in your way are the Typhons. Typhons? Typhons. Typhons. And of course, no sci-fi horror game is complete without its awful, horrifying monsters. And the Typhons are no ordinary aliens. They're mimics. They can look at an object and turn into that as easy as I could eat a whole pizza. And just them having that power constantly gives you this sense of dread and uncertainty. You never know if that coffee mug over there is a mimic or just a regular coffee mug. How many people died mistaking their dildo for a mimic? It's awful. In the beginning of the game, the mimics make every new room you explore feel more like a game of Where's Waldo, but far more intense. They become much less intimidating as you progress through the game. You almost become desensitized to them in some way. But the phantoms and other grotesque enemies you come across help elevate the difficulty and sense of fear you face when entering a new location. Phantoms come in a few different variants, all of them deadly and need to be tackled in certain ways. The normal phantom I would just beat to death with my wrench, but the electric type phantom would cause major damage when up close. The thermal phantom was again very deadly against melee damage, so the further away you were from them, the better off you would be. Poltergeists in Prey 2017 can lift heavy objects and throw them at your face. And it causes incredible amounts of damage. They can even lift you up off the ground and drop you. I think I died from that more than anything else in the whole game. They killed me in an instant 2 or 3 times. Every time I would come across one, I was like a horrified dude because they go invisible. I'd be like, like just shooting into nothing, hoping I would hit it. The floating weaver, an advanced mimic, they reanimate humans into husk-like enemies. They absorb heaps of damage and can be very hard to kill. Nightmares are the biggest, strongest, and most dangerous of all the Typhon. I think I only ended up facing like 3 of them in the whole playthrough, and each time I would die, at least the first time I would try to attack them. And when you get close to them, they cause a huge amount of damage, and what adds to them being the most scary monster in the game is they're pretty much the only one that will actively walk around the map looking for you. In a game like Prey, you honestly don't want a large variety. It was already intimidating enough facing the few monster types that there was. Each monster in the game also has a certain immunity or weakness, so in certain areas of the game you would have to prepare what you were going to do before you fought them. But I think what sets this game apart the most is the actual gameplay. You think being set in the future, your guns would be some sort of laser gun that just eviscerates any enemy, but instead you actually end up getting a normal pistol and shotgun. Early on, you will also find the GLOO-cannon. Think of it as a gun that shoots balls of hard foam. You can use it to slow down enemies or to navigate to hard-to-reach locations. Got a large hole to jump over? GLOO-cannon! Need to make a bridge to get over this gap? GLOO-cannon! Got a leak in your roof? GLOO-cannon! It's very versatile. Because of the ability to jump onto the foam, the GLOO-cannon opens up how you approach each section of the map. You can hack your way through a door, or you can take the long way around and make your own path. And there's like a dart gun that does like no damage at all, can be used to distract enemies. I saw one guy use it to open a door that you couldn't reach, like there's a little hole in a window and you use it to hit the button on the other side. That never even crossed my mind. I can't even imagine how many things I missed out on because I didn't think this dart gun was any good. You will also find EMP grenades and these bomb things that can be used to turn things into resources. It like sucks everything into it, including you. That gives me an idea. However, everything you find, ammo, med kits, food, it's all in very limited supply. I was constantly running low on these supplies and I would always have to go back to already visited locations again to revisit areas I couldn't unlock before, just so I always had enough supplies for the next main section of the game. Everything from a banana peel up to a piece of wire had its purposes, as you could break them down into materials so you could craft the items you need. Early on in the game, your inventory is very small. You can obviously increase it with certain skills, but it made you pick and choose carefully which items you would take. You would go back to your office, turn them into materials, head back to where you just came from to get more stuff to take back to your office to turn into materials. It seems a bit tedious, but it's actually really fun. One of the most important items you will come across are the neuromods themselves. They are essentially skill points that can be used on the skill tree. You can unlock skills that give you more strength. There's skills that give you like level 1 to 4 of hacking. There's a skill that makes medkits heal you for more damage, for example. You know, there's skills that make your melee attacks stronger or use less stamina. The main skill I unlocked was one that let me slow down time. So I would just run up to an enemy. He's all slowed down, but I'm moving the same, just beating him over the head with a wrench. It was really fun. Repair skills that give you more inventory, and all of these are standard human upgrades you can unlock. But if you are feeling frisky, you can lean heavily towards alien abilities. Like I said earlier, I wanted the good ending, so I didn't really unlock any of those alien abilities. I unlocked a few after I completed the game just to try them out. I honestly think having those would have made the game a lot more easier. You can unlock like a kinetic blast. You can even become a mimic yourself and turn into little objects. You can use your mind to retrieve distant items. You can use that same skill to like interact with things that are 10 meters away. And again, instead of using the dart gun to hit the button in the door, you would just like interact with it, for example. Like I said before, in order to fully experience this game, you're probably going to need multiple playthroughs because you won't unlock every skill in a single run. So you definitely want to play it at least 2 or maybe 3 times if you want to play around with every skill. Now, I've been making these types of reviews for around 7 months now, and by far this has been the easiest script to write apart from like the story part. I could very easily go on and on about the story and the gameplay and tell you there's a million things I missed out with the gameplay. You can like scan mimics to learn their abilities and stuff like that, or see their weaknesses. The story is gripping, intense, and filled with very difficult choices. The exploration of Talos I is a game within itself. The combat is satisfying and can be tackled in numerous different ways. And in a game that allows you to have 2 completely different styles of playthrough, combat, exploring, all these different things is always super impressive to me. I honestly have very little to complain about when it comes to Prey. And that's why I would give it a 9 out of 10. Honestly, I think this game happens to be one of the most overlooked horror games. I've never had anyone ever recommend it to me. I've never really seen videos about it. Video essays appear on my YouTube homepage. And shame on me for not completing it back when it came out in 2017. Alright, thank you very much for watching. Next video will be on Shenmue. I don't even know how to say it yet, but that is the next game I'm playing on this channel. Subscribe. Thank you. See ya.